Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, taking advantage of this moment to see if I can intervene in this break. The Republicans and Democrats are speaking to the nation. I'm thinking that perhaps millions of you are observing them right now in a town hall, a virtual town hall. You're watching what the Republicans are saying, you're watching what the Democrats are saying. There was supposed to be a debate, but the virus said we're going to have to come up with a new way of doing it. And the president said, no, that won't work for me. And so he bowed out. So Joe Biden took up another path. The president thought about, well, if Biden is out there, then all of the people will have a chance to listen to him. Let me go out here and interfere with that, take a part of that traffic. And so he went out there to do that, keeping the people divided so people will never have a comprehension of what is really going on based upon what they're hearing people say. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. And it's probably essential that I answer that phone, but I want to keep on talking to you. And here we go. And I want you to focus on it, ladies and gentlemen. A few years ago, Joe Biden was working with another president, and they were in office. And I want to ask you or remind, at that time, there was a lot of people that were unemployed. There were a lot of people that were living from day to day, paycheck to paycheck. There were a lot of people who were stretching it. There were a lot of people who were losing their property because of the finances. There were a lot of people going through all kinds of pains and sufferings. There were a lot of people that were homeless during that. I think there was a Democratic administration. And after then, the people went rampant. I don't know what that word means, but they went crazy. And they brought in a joker who was and since they had gone through the same thing with another Republican, George Bush, they brought in somebody else different. They brought in a Donald Trump. They brought in what they really brought in, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest deceiver of them all. They brought in a liar. They brought in a cheater. They brought in a con artist. They brought in one who was a hater, one who just loved being a divider. They brought him in. Now, he didn't just pop in, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. You can believe that because that's what they want you to believe. Donald Trump, no, this was programmed. Nothing this evil can go that smooth. I mean, it has been so smooth, everything that has happened. All the lying, all the cheating, all the deceit. It didn't matter. It went straight through because whether you called it out, there was somebody that was going to smooth the path and go straight through, and the man keep on doing it to you, right in front of your face. Yeah, they might let him off the hook, but you know what he did. And they let him off, and now he's back out there telling you what he's going to do to you. And you're looking at your government saying, wow, what did you do to help me? Now, let's look at him. Let's look at him. He's had his term. He's had a term 4 years. And did he make anything any better? And if he did, to whom did he make it better for? What about you? I mean, I'm seeing all kinds of things happen now. I'm seeing hundreds of thousands of people dying for something that perhaps they say could have been, if we had responded like we had some interest. You know what I mean? But anyway, it is what it is. Now they are out there talking to you about. You got one of them want to take you down to gain his glory. Will choke the lifeblood out of every last one of you. That's Donald Trump and his party. I'm not going to say Republican. I'm going to say Donald Trump and his party. The Republicans and Democrats are no better. They got the same tendencies that Donald Trump. They just still got a little bit of they still got a little bit of God in them. Yeah, Donald Trump. Oh boy. Anyway, so that's the only difference. But I say to you, if he's ready to take you that low, and there's really nothing ready to stop him, except somebody's hoping that maybe the nation won't be willing to vote for him, and that maybe he might not be bold enough to try to take it. All of that, hoping. Why don't you, ladies and gentlemen, You know he'll take you the lowest. I want to say to you, why not take it the highest? Now let me say to you, ladies and gentlemen, who amongst you would reject peace? Who amongst you would, let me ask you like this. Let me start off like this. Who amongst you would reject having your needs, your wants, and your desires met? I don't believe an American would reject that, nor a person on earth. Let me ask you another one. To make sure that you had your desires met for survival, that included food, clothing, shelter, and education and health care, and infrastructure, and all the things that you can imagine that your hands are able to cause a manifestation thereof. How many of you would be for that? All of these things, all of these needs are guaranteed to you. How many of you would reject that? Now, how many of you would reject playing a part in the process of the creation of all of these goods and all of these services that each of us would benefit from if we had a choice of our role of participation? If we had a choice of our career, and we want to choose one that gives us our greatest joy, how many of us would reject that? I think every last one of us would go for that. Some of us would be dancers, some of us would be singers, some of us would be, I don't know, engineers, some would be preachers. We don't need that many though. Some of us would be piano builders, some of us would be whatever we do. And all of the things that would bring us peace and prosperity and freedom and the joy of our life and the fulfillment of our dreams would be made manifest to each of us on earth by us trusting in doing things righteously, meaning treating others as we want to be treated, recognizing that there is no power above any of us but the invisible power that we can't see, can't touch, can't feel, and can't even imagine it. But the evidence of that power is all around us everywhere. And so we allow that power to live inside of us. That loving power that is keeping us going forward. Dreaming, aspiring, daring to create out of this hell. To make this America a place like heaven right here. We don't have to settle for anything that Trump settled for. We don't have to settle for anything that the Democrats settle for. It is time that we settle for that which is right. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You say, well, what's right? That there is nobody suffering from a lack of the resources that God has made available that would meet their needs for survival. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody homeless, nobody hungry, nobody uneducated, nobody sick, because they got the health care. Nobody lacking in anything that exists. No human being in America or on earth should suffer a lack thereof. That's according to God's plan. That's according to the Creator's plan. Now the billionaires don't like that. They have said to hell with God. The multi-billionaires said to hell with God. The millionaires have said to hell with God. The thousandaires have said to hell with God. The hundredaires have said to hell with God. The broke heirs have said to hell with God. Everybody has said to hell with God. That's why Trump is president. Because we have said to hell with God. Everything that's going on right now, people know it's wrong. People are talking about it. People are saying this and people are saying that. Doesn't mean a thing. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Every last one of you listening to me right now are waiting for somebody else to get up and do it. Waiting for somebody else to handle it. Waiting for some other leader to just stand up. You be a leader and stand up yourself. I mean, this hurts you too. This hurts those that are close to you as well. Even if you don't understand how it hurts everybody else. You know it's hurting. So if your brother won't stand up, why won't you stand up? Are you Well, we know the answer to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that Trump, the Democrats, Joe Biden, and you. Now, many of you don't know anything about God, and I understand that, and I'm not going to try to hold you to the fire to act like you can choose God all of a sudden. No, I'm not going to do that. There are those of you who have made up your mind that you're tired of Donald Trump. Now, I don't really know what Donald Trump is going to do after he loses, if he loses. But many of you are going to vote for the Democratic ticket because you don't want to go to hell as fast as Donald Trump taking you. Now, if Joe Biden wins, you're still going to be on a slow boat to hell. Now, I know many of you are going to feel so relieved that you can take a breath that you wasn't going there as fast as Donald Trump was going to get you there. But I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, you are not left off the hook, because every person that suffers from a lack of the things that I've been mentioning here tonight, they're at your hands. And you're not being excused. You're not being forgiven for doing that. You're not being forgiven for letting people hurt. You're not being forgiven for letting people suffer. No. And somebody told you a trick lie that you're going to be forgiven and somebody will let you into heaven. To do the same thing there, if a bold, evil voice power came up to heaven and started talking that same old smack, you bend your knee, bend your back, just like you're doing right here. Now is the time to grow up. Now is the time to learn. Now is the time to prove yourself. Herewith, standing up for God, that others might see your good works and say, yeah, boy, now that's God. I'm talking about, that's God. See what I'm saying? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.